City, Missouri, under crowd control. And stare down between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Missouri Tigers. It's Kansas against Missouri. Coming up next, a college football
Today, Big 12 North Division champions, the Missouri Tigers, battle arch rival Kansas in one of the longest-running feuds in college history. This game is so big, they moved it off campus to historic Arrowhead Stadium. The fans are in a frenzy over their record-setting quarterbacks. Chase Daniel for 13th-ranked Missouri. Todd Reese for the bowl-bound Kansas Jayhawks. And both teams boast marquee players who can turn the game around in an instant. Wide receiver Desmond Briscoe for Kansas. And who can stop Missouri's sensational sophomore, Jeremy Mackler? Touchdown, Missouri. Nothing like a rivalry to get the spirit soaring. And this has been heating up since 1891. The Border Showdown. Now on College Football Saturday.
Arrowhead Stadium has been sold out for months in anticipation of the Jayhawks and the Tigers. They've come from Columbia, they have come from Lawrence, and all parts in between for the Border Showdown at Arrowhead Stadium. From Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, it's Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC. Today, the 117th meeting of the border battle between the Kansas Jayhawks and the 13th ranked Missouri Tigers. Welcome everyone, Bill Land, Dave Lapham with you. These two can't even agree on who owns the series edge, is how much disagreement there is between these two schools. And Dave, you bring them to Kansas City, it's a great fun afternoon of football.
Oh, there's no doubt, Bill, but both teams have won 6 games since they've entered the Big 12 fray, 6-6. So this will be a tiebreaker in that regard as well. Throw out the records, though. In this kind of a football game, it's get after them time.
And this year in the Big 12, offense owns everything, and we've got a couple of trigger men here who are stars. You take a look at the two quarterbacks, and Todd Reese and Chase Daniel, they get it done.
They get it done, and they're both Texas high school quarterbacks. People thought, maybe a little bit too small. Now they got the it factor. They're smart, they're competitive, they play with confidence, and I'll tell you, they're winners. You got Todd Reese at 18-6, Chase Daniel at 29-9. Enough said.
And you got to have go-to guys. They've got playmakers to make the plays for them. And Desmond Briscoe for KU and Jeremy Macklin for Mizzou.
Desmond Briscoe, 54 yards away from setting a single-season record. This kid makes a lot of big plays. 18 catches of over 20 yards, 7 catches of over 40 yards, 3 touchdown catches of 50 yards or more. And Macklin, 2 seasons of 1,000 yards receiving or more. He's the first guy in school history to do that.
When we return, Mike Goldberg and DeMarco Farr in our College Football Saturday studio.
It'll always be big. There'll always be a ton of people at these games, especially at Arrowhead.
I'm looking forward to playing that game again, in that stadium and having a rematch.
By Best Buy, you happier. The Kansas Jayhawks at 6-5, 3-4 in the Big 12 run on, and our KFC College Football Saturday to face the Missouri Tigers, bringing out the gold jerseys. Man, on a wintry mix type of day, let's send it down to Jim Knox.
All right, Bill, I tell you what, it's been snowing, it's been raining. Right now, we got a little mixture going on. The field, though, in tip-top shape. They resodded the field on Monday. Andre Bruce, the head groundskeeper, said the footing in the middle of the field should not be the problem. Players are ready to go, and the mascots are ready to go. Truman and Big J duking it out. This should be a good one, Bill. Come down, guys.
Knoxy, stay clean down there and have fun. What a day. 38 degrees. Hey, this is Midwest. This is college football. You got a sold-out house. They've got the gates open at 6:30 this morning to let people in and get fired up, and they are ready.
Well, half the stadium is blue, half the stadium is gold, and it's almost like the Red River Battle. There'll always be noise every single play because the stadium is just about exactly 50-50.
As for the rivalry, only Minnesota and Wisconsin with more. This is the most west of the Mississippi. See Kansas, Nebraska right behind it. Texas and Texas A&M with their meeting on Thanksgiving night, also among the top. Jeremy Maclin, the all-purpose man of the year and career for Missouri, is deep to return, and Jacob Brandstetter, the redshirt freshman from Lawton, Oklahoma, boots it off for the Kansas Jayhawks. Maclin at the 14, 20, 25, and brought down by Willie O'Quinn. Let's take a look now at the KFC starting lineup for the Missouri offensive group. That's a veteran bunch of linemen. Madison making his 34th career start. Washington last week, 128 yards rushing and 2 TDs, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, against Iowa State in their last game. And Chase Daniel only getting better. What a career he is about to finish out. But as he has told us, we got some business to take care of. They're 9-2, 5-2 in conference play. They've already clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game. On 1st and 10, it is incomplete, intended near the 38-yard line. And on that particular play, Jared Perry. And here's a look at the season numbers for Chase Daniel, and his numbers are just phenomenal.
It's crazy. I mean, that completion percentage, over 75%. At this stage of the season, going into your last regular season game, to have completed 3 out of every 4 pass attempts is mind-boggling.
He is 6th in the nation in passing efficiency, 4th in the Big 12. That tells you how good the quarterbacks are in the league this year. This one is dropped by Washington. That'll be a 3rd down coming up for Mizzou. Let's take a look at the Kansas defensive group, again presented by KFC. Borson, Blakesley, Green, and Laptad, Holt, Mortensen, Rivera. This entire team is really battered up this year. They have had a number of injuries fighting through them. Thornton, Stuckey, Strozier, and Patterson. Stuckey, the interception leader, with 3 in the secondary.
5 wide receivers, empty backfield. Watch the inside slot receiver working against the linebacker.
3rd and 10 for Daniel. Intercepted. Kansas picking it off at the 30, the 25, and down to the 21-yard line. That's Darryl Stuckey. So Stuckey out of Kansas City, Washington High School, picks it off, and Kansas gets the first big break on a 17-yard return.
That's Stuckey's 4th interception of the season. He leads the team in that regard, and he knows all about this rivalry. Chase Daniel pump, and Stuckey breaks on the football. Never saw Stuckey. You know, I think Chase Daniel locked in on Mike Rivera, and he was working against that linebacker, but Stuckey read Chase Daniel's eyes and took it right there. Look at this little formation right here.
3 wideouts. Terry Meyer in the middle of them, their leader on the year. And this one, a little pitch and catch from Reesing, and they snuffed that out pretty good to Dexton Fields. Let's take a look at the Kansas lineup, brought to you by KFC, as the Jayhawks coming in trying to go 7-5. Hatch, Mays, Cantrell, Hartley, and Spikes. Spikes and Hatch, both redshirt freshmen. We got Sharp, who's been really hammered lately. He does get the start, even though he's playing with some severe rib injury situation. And there's Todd Reesing, numbers off a little bit, but still had a terrific season at the quarterback spot. He and Sharp have hardly practiced the last couple of weeks. Both teams saying they really enjoyed having the bye week to get ready for this. Here is Sharp trying to stretch it out, and is tackled by Brock Christopher, who comes in with 304 career tackles. And Todd Reesing out of Austin, Texas, Lake Travis High School, a guy that a lot of people said, no, we'll pass on, as you mentioned. All he can do is play.
Hey, he's a brilliant guy. You know, he's a 3.7 GPA with a double major in economics and finance. So his football IQ is as strong as his overall IQ. And he's got to execute here in the red zone. Big 3rd down.
3rd and 7 for the Jayhawks as they get it on the turnover and the interception by Stuckey. Reesing, good protection, and it is dropped. Fields both teams, you think, I don't think the weather's a big deal right now as much as they're just really jacked up.
I think it could be a little bit of a factor, but it could be jitters as well, you know, and these guys wear these tacky gloves. And to me, there's no excuse for dropping a football. Reese, of course, doesn't. He's keeping that throwing hand without a glove. But all the wide receivers have those golf gloves that have tackiness to them. You just got to concentrate and look it in. Big field goal opportunity. Missouri defense doing a good job of bullying their neck in the red zone.
Brandstatter, 35-yarder, 34, I should call it. And it is good. So Brandstatter is 9 for 12 now. He had 0 attempts the last couple games. He gets things going for Kansas. They do take advantage of the turnover and put points on the board.
Red zone, got to get 7.
Chewing up some clock, keeping that Missouri offense off the field, if nothing else, for KU, as you saw. And it's a 2nd down and 5. And the pitch, sharp. Not a lot of room over there as Brock Christopher and Sean Weatherspoon, his 2 star linebackers, make the tackle. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com at home with the O.
You know, the amount of option that Kansas is running really makes you hesitant to blitz if you're not Eberflus. When you run the option, if you blitz and guess wrong, big plays can occur. And Kansas is really diminishing Missouri's aggressiveness with the blitz by that option selection.
3rd and 4 now at the 15. Looking to Meyer. Got him for the first down as he steps out of bounds. In Kansas, a new set of downs. Jackson covering on the play.
Well, he's the go-to guy. You know, when it's 3rd down or a big play is needed, Kerry Meyer in the slot. And Briscoe runs one off, and there's nobody rolling over the top. By the time he can get there, Meyer's generated the first down. Nice design and excellent execution. Most importantly, great throw. Sometimes those throws are tough to make, and he hit Meyer in stride.
Reese 7 of 8 for 32 yards in the early going. The short stuff working them. Knocking on the door here. 1st and goal to go from the 10. Reese to Meyer again. And this time is knocked out shy of the 5. Bridges is there for the Tigers.
Meyer's got tremendous athletic ability. At his size, he runs a 4.6 40. We've already talked about him being the backup quarterback at 6'3", 220. He's got very sticky fly paper hands. You can see him catching the ball effortlessly, even in this kind of weather. And Todd Reese calls it Old Faithful because he's so reliable and accountable.
2nd and goal from the 6. Meyer 5 touchdown receptions on the year. He's split wide right, and outside of him is Briscoe.
He's in the slot.
Reese intercepted by the Tigers, and bringing it out of the end zone is Jackson. So the Tigers come up with a big turnover and deny Kansas a scoring.
Man, massive interceptions thrown by the quarterbacks. The interception by Chase Daniel was the first interception he's thrown against Kansas. Prior 2 games, he's had 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. He threw the interception that ended up in the short field, and Missouri comes right back and in the red zone. Outstanding effort to make an interception in the red zone and make it a situation where no points allowed. And I'll tell you what, there was not much of a window there. Todd Reese was trying to take advantage of a window that was not open, and Jackson made him pay.
Jackson's 2nd interception of the year. Chase Daniel coming back, firing. Oh, nearly picked off the other way as he had that one reflect off of Drew Jones. Jones played it 2 weeks ago in place of Chase Kaufman, their outstanding tight end who's had a serious case of turf toe.
Yeah, Chase Kaufman not out on the football field right now. You have to wonder, but this is very physical. And I'll tell you who's having just an outstanding game. Darryl Stuckey. He leads the team in unassisted tackles. He's intercepting the football. He's knocking people around. Stuckey's playing out of this world.
2nd and 10 from the 9. Daniel in trouble. Got rid of it and incomplete. Closest man to the ball might have been Jones again. There must have been a little miscommunique there as he was just throwing it away.
Yeah, I think he was looking for Jones to run a little pivot route, and Jones slipped. as Jones, watch him at the top here. Watch him as he comes out of his break, he slips. And he was expecting him to be able to run a little bit of a pivot route. And Chase Daniel is giving him there. Yeah, and I want you to break toward the sideline a little bit. I think the field, he lost his footing.
They're in an end that is dominated by KU fans as Daniel just a few yards from the end zone on another big third down. 3rd and 10. Missouri trying to get this offense going. They've been averaging 45 points a game. Daniel with the keeper. 15, 20, first down and more.
Wow.
Chase Daniel turning it on across midfield. Oh, mama, and a loose football.
Yeah.
Kansas recovers.
Stuckey chopped it out of there with a tomahawk chop. Darryl Stuckey said, I'm not giving up on this play. I'm staying after it. And he chopped it out of there. Man, what was anybody? Chase Daniel makes a great decision. Didn't want to risk an interception, throwing it out of his end zone. And he just makes some great moves in the open field. I mean, he looks like a running back in space. Watch Stuckey, boom, tomahawk chop, rip it out of there. And then he recovers it, forces the fumble, recovers the fumble. He's got an interception. I mean, Stuckey is playing out of his mind. He's playing defense like a man possessed, making plays all over the field.
And Chase Daniel, 4.8 speed. He looked a lot faster than that. But great effort by Stuckey, and Kansas gets it right back on the turnover. Here is Reesing showing you his running ability, and he gets a few before he is stopped near the 40-yard line. William Moore making the tackle on the play for Mizzou. You know, Macklin made a nice block on that run by Daniel, but about the time you think Missouri's going to get some real momentum, it goes right back the other way, and this Mizzou crowd is kind of stunned.
I'll tell you what, for Kansas's defense to have forced 2 fumbles and we're not even through a quarter yet is big, and they have to win the turnover battle, in my opinion, by 2 to win this football game.
Now, last year, in their great 12-1 run, they were plus 21 in the turnover margin. This year, they're plus 3, and in the day of high-scoring offenses, you've got to get turnovers. This one is complete as Reesing connects that time with number 88, Dexton Fields, and you saw him slipping and sliding. And Fields, 3rd all-time now in receptions at KU, the senior out of Dallas, South Oak Cliff High School. Moore covering on the play.
I'll tell you what, just a great route, got some separation, and Todd Reesing put that on the money. William Moore could not get there quickly enough from the safety position from the hash mark to the sideline.
1st and 10 at the 44. Briscoe the man. And he scoots down to near the 40-yard line before Jackson makes the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you, Bridges broke on that football, and Bridges was in the throwing lane. I think he was coming on a corner blitz off the slot. He just kind of ran right by the football. Todd Reesing got the completion, but being as productive as they've been on 1st down is a big factor.
Here's a look at Reesing now. The stats from the last 5 are pretty doggone good, but that's when this team has struggled, losing 4 of 5, and a lot of it is the caliber of the competition in the Big 12.
No doubt. You got Texas and Oklahoma and people like that they're playing.
Sharp is brought down near the 35-yard. What a great way for college football to put a wrap on a regular season with all the rivalry games. And here, Kansas coming in the underdog to the 13th-ranked Missouri Tigers. We've had 3 turnovers in the first quarter. 1 led to a KU field goal. And then with KU knocking on the door, Missouri gets a pick from Jackson. And then Daniel on a 3rd and 10. A huge run, coughs it up with Stuckey, tomahawking it back. And now KU is marching again and has it 1st and 10 on the 33. And Sharp in the backfield next to the quarterback, Reesing. Kerry Meyer. Okay, they're doing a nice job of just isolating, getting one-on-one and taking what they can get, Dave.
They're doing the short intermediate passing game, the controlled passing game. This is like basically a running game. It's like an I formation, and you know, you have one that's a fullback, one's the tailback, and one has to block for the other. And the fullback in that wide receiver I formation was Briscoe, and Meyer was behind him.
Meyer picked up 7 on that grab. 2nd and 3. Ball at the 26 of Missouri. See the clock winding down here in the first quarter. Play clock at 6. Nice snap. Reesing in trouble here. Nice job to get back to the line and actually pick up some yardage. And
first down.
Yeah, got the first down as Garrett made the tackle. Looked like they had him for a loss.
That's a lot of want to right there. That's just being competitive and not quitting on a play. And that's what Todd Reesing's all about. He and Chase Daniel never, ever quit on a play. Last year, Missouri ran 93 snaps and had the ball for 37 minutes and 25 seconds. They played ball control. In the first quarter, it flipped. Kansas with ball control in this one.
Kansas has owned it, even though it's a 3-0 score. That's the end of our first quarter. The Kansas Jayhawks lead the Missouri Tigers 3-0. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. The player of the day so far. Time of possession, how about that?
That's just totally flip-flop to last year's football game. Kansas, with those takeaways, you know, you're limiting possessions. Missouri doesn't have a first down yet. You know, they went 3 and out, and they had 2 turnovers. Actually, Chase Daniel flipped the field with that run that he had.
A 54-yard run, but no first down.
Yeah, and lost the football.
All right, here we go. It is 2nd down and 1 to go. First and 10, I beg your pardon, at the 21. And Reesing, great protection, comes underneath once again to Briscoe, and Briscoe stays in bounds and gets inside the 10-yard line. That'll move the chains again. And Reesing, with that completion, has broken his own record for a season record for completions.
I'll tell you what, the 2 redshirt freshman offensive tackles are doing a great job. I mean, they're just lining up and doing a job one-on-one, giving time, and Briscoe, the fun happens after the reception. His yards after catch are phenomenal, as well as Mack. And we have 2 of the better receivers in college football with yards after catch.
Reesing looks in. Briscoe, touchdown! Just like that, KU again.
Ran the bubble screen, and there was a missed tackle, Bill. Kansas took advantage fully for the first time of red zone opportunity. They settled for field goal the first time, had a turnover the second time. This time, the bubble screen to Briscoe. Touchdown.
Meyer will hold for Brandstetter. Stunned Missouri crowd as Kansas has taken advantage of the turnovers. Brandstetter connects on the PAT. And it is now 10-0 as Brandstetter is 41 of 42 on the year.
And I think it was Kenji Jackson that missed the tackle. The good blocking. Other than that, Jackson missed the in space. He missed the tackle, and it was touchdown.
Following the point after, and the kickoff. Jacob Brandstetter. Macklin is the deep man at the 10. Short kick on the pooch, and is taken just shy of the 40. Jimmy Jackson coming up with it, and a 4-yard return. Let's go back to that TD pass as Reesing connects again to Briscoe.
Well, and good protection to get it started up front. There's a nice little chop block right there. And now there's the missed tackle in space. You have Kenji Jackson missing the tackle with Briscoe. And once that tackle is missed, there's an alley and a lane that he takes full advantage of. And that young man finishes plays right there.
Reesing, 17 consecutive games with a TD pass as Missouri tries to get its offense on track, give that Missouri defense a chance to figure out what's going on. They haven't had an opportunity for a breather. Mike Rivera makes the tackle here on Washington.
I'll guarantee you that this is the first time all season long Missouri's first 3 possessions have ended in 2 turnovers and a 3 and out. That has not happened. Now they're facing some adversity. How will they respond?
2nd and 4, and complete. Saunders staying in bounds and then battered by a couple of Jayhawks as Holt leading the way on that tackling brigade. Our Big 12 North, we mentioned that yesterday Nebraska at 5-3 with that wild win against Colorado could tie if Missouri should lose today, but Missouri has already clinched the spot because they own the tiebreaker against Nebraska, so they'll go to the Big 12 championship game. There's KU with a chance to go 7-5.
And Missouri went into Lincoln, Nebraska, and never punted the football.
Macklin, there's the guy they need to get the football to. 45-40, Macklin 30, and jumps out of bounds inside the 25 down near the 22-yard line. Damon Patterson making the tackle.
A little chippiness going on, a little talk after the play. Macklin can get from 0 to 60 with that unbelievable acceleration as fast as anybody. Get him the ball in space. When he turns on the jet, Stuckey came up short on the intersection point, and he was off to the races. Man, can he flat out fly. 30
yards on the pickup. Washington on the ground. Forges ahead across the 20. Washington is a guy that they count on near the red zone. He's got 16 TDs on the ground this year, and Laptad made the tackle that time.
Washington is averaging almost 6.5 yards a carry. Very, very productive. If they can run the football, which they're starting to mix into this possession, if they run the football, there's not going to be any panic in Chase Daniel. He'll stay forward.
Washington, a sophomore, 5'11", 225 from Raymore, Missouri. Cuts it up here, 15, following his blockers. And a great job of doing that inside the 10. Anyebule makes the tackle. Maxwell Anyebule, junior out of Arlington, Texas, with the stop after 11-yard gain.
Everybody over pursuit. Laptad over pursuit. Whoop, set on the brakes, and he goes slipping out into space. An 18-wheeler trying to change direction with a Ferrari. You know, they don't have that rack and pinion steering. You can't change direction like that. The linebackers all over pursued. And when Derek Washington planted that foot to get upfield, he created himself a nice lane.
Well, Missouri trying to answer here. Flags everywhere, and that'll stop it. Now, this is the Missouri we expected, where they normally score in 2 minutes.
Full start offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You don't want to take that penalty. Madison, false start in the red zone. You do not want to take red zone penalties, particularly when you're down 10 points and you're trying to answer. And there was the movement. The early movement, trying to get started, and then that pull from the right guard position cost his team 5 yards.
As a result, first down, goal to go from the 12. Tough yards inside the 10-yard line. Laptad making the tackle on, again, Derek Washington. Laptad, sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, played at that powerhouse program Jinx there in the Tulsa area.
Now this is where Missouri can put a lot of pressure on you in the red zone, like you talked about. And the defense for Missouri had held strong the first couple of possessions. Kansas was in there, held them to field goal and then a takeaway. Last possession, Kansas already had 3 red zone possessions. They scored a touchdown, a field goal, and turned it over.
Macklin in the backfield with Chase Daniel. 2nd and goal from the 7. Daniel in trouble. Great job eluding to the 10 and slips as he goes down near the 5. Or maybe he was just taking the slide. Anyebule.
He missed him. Anyebule had the pressure, and he could not get Chase Daniel on the ground. Chase Daniel's put together. Chase Daniel's 230 pounds. You're not going to just arm tackle him. Anyebule couldn't get him to the ground. And Chase Daniel's cleats go out from underneath him, or he's inside the 5-yard line, maybe score.
So a 3rd and goal from the 5 for Missouri. Washington in the backfield with Daniel. 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Kaufman in the game to the left. KU bringing some pressure. Kaufman, touchdown Tigers! They go to their All-American tight end, and he answers.
You can see he's still not 100%. That left big toe is still causing him problems. But he ran a nice little route inside the corner of the end zone and made the reception. Watch him try to get in and out of the cut. You can see him still limping a little bit, but that little pivot route, and he has a size mismatch that he takes advantage of. and Chase Daniel puts it on the back shoulder. The smaller defensive back can do nothing about it. Chase Kosman basically boxes him out and uses that big body to get it between the defender and the football.
Kaufman, his 8th touchdown of the year, and the point after attempt is good by Wolford, as Wolford goes 64 for 64 now on the season. And Missouri right back in it here. It is 10-7 Kansas.
Blue Cross and Blue
And not much doing on that first down call as Laptad tackling Washington.
And field position so large for Kansas. Look at this. In their only win in their last 4 games, they dominated field position. They had an 18-yard average drive start advantage. In the losses, they were minus 14 yards. Look at today. Today, they're plus 23. You get field position, you get the turnover advantage, you get the field position advantage, you're going to win the game.
From his end zone, Daniel, he is brought down.
Safety.
No sign yet.
The ball didn't even go past the line of scrimmage. The ball has to make it past the line of scrimmage. There was no eligible receiver in the area. There were just offensive linemen. And he was just trying to get rid of the football in the pocket. I would think that's a safety. It is.
Additional grounding offense. Number 10. The ball plays a smaller foul, loss it down, resulting in a safety.
There you have the explanation. So Chase Daniel in his own end zone, and Laptab, the man, taking care of business. Look at these Missouri fans texting for help.
He had no receiver to throw to. He's in trouble. Laptad's pursuing him. He's in trouble, and he just throws it at the lineman's feet. It doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That's intentional grounding. Safety when that penalty happens in the end zone. Kansas got a 5-point lead. To intentionally ground the football. Laptad with the pressure forces the safety. Big play.
Now Missouri to kick it off from their 20 following the safety. Briscoe, the deep man, will get a shot at the 15. Briscoe right up the middle, pushing all the way forward near the 45-yard line. Desmond Briscoe, a 29-yard return, and Kansas with a 12-7 lead, and Briscoe right in the middle of it.
Desmond Briscoe has been big time. I mean, he's been very sure-handed, hasn't dropped anything. And on this bubble screen, he scored his 11th touchdown reception of the season. Big time record right there. He has just made acrobatic catches, made every catch he's supposed to make. Desmond Briscoe has turned into a major threat down the football field in the Big 12.
And now with 1,171 yards on the season, he's the all-time record holder for season receiving yards at Kansas with his day. As Sharp and Missouri responding here. Sharp nowhere to go. Christopher leading the charge. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop with a company that supports college football. Overstock.com at home with the O.
Matt Eberflus that time saying, I'm gonna call a blitz. And, you know, if it's a run blitz, so be it. If it's a pass, I'm going to get some pressure off it. He's got 21 different players involved in tackle for loss on the season. He brings them from all angles.
5:30 to go, first half. Kansas with a lead of 5 in the football. Briscoe. 46-yard line. Ziggy Hood making the stop.
That's good hustle. That's a defensive tackle pursuing the play. Briscoe makes you hold your breath every time he touches the football. He can change direction. He's got the jackhammer feet. He is a special player. He's now understanding some zone beater and man beater routes, and he's using that big body to leverage smaller defensive backs. He's finally gotten it, and he can be scary. He's got tremendous upside.
And how do you stop Missouri's powerful offense? Well, that time of possession is important today as Kansas is keeping them off the field. And now with a 3rd and 8, Reesing drills it to Meyer. Another first down KU. This time in the Mizzou territory at the 43-yard line.
Missouri came with a zone blitz. Watch him blitz linebackers and drop the defensive linemen. And it doesn't faze Todd Reesing at all. He says, I've seen zone blitzes before. He goes right to Meyer.
And the pitch this time to Sharp. Meyer, by the way, on that last reception has now passed Emmett Edwards for 10th on the KU receptions list all time. Weatherspoon making the tackle this time, and for a guy that came as a quarterback.
I'll tell you, he's a talented kid. And Meyer and Sharp are an inspiration to this Kansas football team, Bill. They're playing hurt, and they're playing well hurt. And everybody else is saying, am I doing enough? Look what these guys are doing.
2nd and 8 at the 41 of Mizzou for Kansas. Reesing delivers again and complete at the 38-yard line. Dexton Fields, the receiver this time.
Kansas' game plan could not be executed any better. Get some turnovers and melt the clock. Time of possession, limit Missouri's opportunities. They are basically living their game plan to the utmost, other than not scoring every time they had good opportunity in the red zone.
07 National Coach of the Year, Mark Mangino, looking on with his Hawks playing some inspiring football. 3rd and 3 at the 36 for Kansas now. Reesing come after him, unloads, and it's complete to Meyer. He got a block, and Meyer very close to a first down. I think he is a little short.
This ball was just airborne, fluttering, and I thought it had an opportunity to be picked. But Meyer found the football. The pressure makes Reesing throw off his back foot. Meyer comes back to the football like all good receivers do and makes a big play on it. 4th and less than a yard. Big snap.
Gonna go for it. Reesing trying to push his way and squirt through there. It appears that he's got it.
Yep. I'll tell you, Reesing should wear a capital C on his chest for competitor, because that guy's not going to give an inch to anybody. He's a great example. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And Reesing's got a lot of fight in him. Offensive line came off the line of scrimmage pretty darn well. They ran to the bubble. They ran at the linebacker, and they got a nice surge there. And I think it's going to be move the chains time for Kansas.
Come out and measure here. The Jayhawks getting a Brandstetter field goal after an interception by Stuckey. Briscoe, a 9-yard pass reception, and then Labtad with the safety against Daniel. And let's send it down for freecreditreport.com sideline report to Jim Knox.
Bill continues to rain with a little mixture of snow, but you see right here, this field continues to be in good shape. The siding in the midfield is in tip-top shape. On the sides, a little bit slip, but right there, Todd Reesing picked up the first down in the middle of the field. Footing is good right there, guys.
Yeah, that's a fast track between those hash marks, Knoxy. You could stick your pitching wedge in there, bro.
First down and 10 at the 33. Reesing again complete and across to Fields at the 25-yard line, and Reesing continues to have a stellar afternoon with the short game. He's got just the one long pass.
And you hit it, Bill. You know what that is? That's patience. That's taking what the defense gives you. These shallow crosses have been available all day long. Linebackers are taking deep drops, run the shallow cross underneath them or between the linebackers and the safeties, and Todd Reesing has taken exactly what Missouri has given him.
This one deflected and incomplete. Just his 3rd incompletion of the day as Shulock got a mid on it.
Between 5'9" and 5'10", but he has a great feel for sliding into throwing lanes and finding windows to throw the football. He does not have as many passes blocked as you would have expected his size.
Listed at 5'11". There he is for today. 20-23. I don't either, but second-team all-conference pick a year ago. It's a wide open touchdown, Jayhawks! Oh, mama, he hits him again. Dexton Fields.
William Moore looking at a teammate saying that's a broken coverage. I mean, he was trying to do something to make up for it, but you cannot have a brain cramp with Todd Reesing. He will find it immediately. And look at him on the sideline enjoying the fact that that Missouri broke down, and he found it immediately and took full advantage of it. Big plays. That was another thing. Kansas wanted to win the explosive play aspect of today's game.
Kansas fans fired up. The point after by Brandstetter is good, and Kansas now with a 19-7 lead, and Reesing delivering.
His eyes get big right here. Uh-oh, look at him. He's 20 yards open. I got to get him the football. Here's another look. He's going to go to his left initially. First read was there, and he's like, are you kidding me? I got to get it right here. He got the ball to Fields, and Reesing's like, yeah, when you make that mistake, we're going to make you pay. And the middle of the football field becomes available to Reesing very quickly. Blown coverage. William Moore jumps underneath. Man, that's assignment error right there. You can't afford in a game like this, and particularly against a quarterback that's got an ability to see the whole football field like a Todd Reesing.
Fields' his 3rd TD reception of the year. Reesing his 26th TD pass of the year. And Kansas has got the Jayhawk partisans just roaring as they get ready to kick it off with 1:54 to go in the half, and the Jayhawks up a dozen now. Brandstetter to kick it off. Macklin, the deep man for Missouri. Again, the short kick. Want to keep it away from Macklin.
And get it at the 40.
Yep, out of bounds.
That's what an outstanding return guy does to you. It makes you be a little bit defensive, play a little bit scared, on your heels more so.
The KU says, but it's not 6 points.
Right.
Now, how does Chase Daniel react? He's had a very tough afternoon. He's got plenty of time here to try to get him on the board before the half. Oh, nearly picked off Stuckey. A man of the moment again nearly had it.
Boy, is he breaking on the ball well. It's film study, preparation. I mean, Clint Bowen has done a heck of a job with his defensive football team getting them ready. His route recognition is outstanding. His break on the football is there. He has it, but doesn't have both feet in. And then he dropped the football. If he squeezes that thing, he might have had the left foot down. If he secures it going into the bench area, they have another pick.
Chase Daniel, 3 of 10 for 39 yards today. Here's a big one to Kaufman for a first down. Kaufman, who had the TD reception, and Strozier makes the play. That move you changed. You mentioned, though, we had a chance to look. Kaufman is really playing in some pain.
He is. He just took himself out after that play. He's going to be in spot play duty today. That touchdown route that he ran, he was definitely very, very limited with that left leg.
Daniel comes back to deliver here, and this one to his replacement, Andrew Jones. Let's send it down to Jim Knox.
All right, Bill, coming up on the College Football Saturday halftime show, we'll head to the studios, join Mike Goldberg, DeMarco Farr. They'll take a look at the top 25 scores and highlights. Also, text time, get out those cell phones. Jayhawks flexing his muscles right now. I need this hat out here today.
We do need that hat.
That's all you, Jim.
Stay dry, Knoxie. Tried to stretch the field that time, and it was not available. Tommy Saunders, the intended target, Bill.
Saunders, 54 receptions coming in for 5 TDs. Patterson covering on the play. Here's a look.
Nice job by Patterson using the sideline as a 12th man. He basically uses that sideline to his advantage and pressures him to the sideline.
3rd and 7 for Mizzou. Daniel, keeper here. Daniel, nice move to the 40, first down and more, and dives across the 35, rolling about the 32, where Laptab will get credit for the stop.
Joe Mortensen in space. Joe Mortensen struggled at the linebacker position, and this was an area of responsibility for Mortensen when Kansas is playing man coverage, and Daniel sees they have their heads turned. He's going to run the football, and Mortensen, the linebacker, has to make the tackle on him. That time, Mortensen could not, and Daniel made sure he had 2 hands on the football.
Daniel to Saunders here on a 1st and 10. Saunders fighting for the extra yard and stops the clock with 42 seconds to go. Rivera making the play. Daniel had that 54-yard run earlier. He had a 14-yarder. There's a moment there he'd actually run for more than he'd passed for.
Yeah, exactly. And what you have to realize, and Kansas is acutely aware of it, Mark Mangino knows better than anybody, a 12-point lead is nothing against Missouri with this explosive high-octane attack they have.
2nd and 2 at the 24 for Chase Daniel and the Tigers. Brought down. Yes, it took a while, but Holt kept the wraps on him, and Daniel on a timeout.
Holt is an outstanding effort guy. He played the linebacker position in the nickel, which it is right here. He's a defensive end with his hand in the dirt. Holt has had some outstanding games very recently here. Watch him come off the edge and just gets after Chase Daniel big time. James Holt, the last 3 games, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception. Are you kidding me? That's the season for a lot of people, and he's done it in the last 4 games. Add a sack to that, make it 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception.
7 sacks on the year and leads them in tackles at 91 and in tackles for loss now at 15.5 on the season. So having a terrific year, the senior from Altus, Oklahoma. James Holt, who was an honorable mention All Big 12 selection a year ago. In Kansas, great season where they went 12-1, losing only to Missouri and going on and winning in the Orange Bowl. And they don't look like a team that's down on their luck today, that's had a rough go this year, mainly because they had to go through all those Big 12 South monsters.
Well, their sideline is enthusiastic and excited and energized. The Missouri sideline stunned. 3rd down, big 3rd and 8 right here for Kansas and Missouri.
35 seconds to go. Daniel following the timeout, in trouble again. Just throws this one away.
Had to. Nowhere to go at the football. Rivera made him vacate the pocket. I'll tell you what, Clint Bowen and his defensive coach has done a great job of breaking down Missouri's protections with their pressure packages and coverage in the secondary. Chase Daniel, they have Chase Daniel as out of sync as I've ever seen him. I mean, he is not comfortable with what he's looking at out there right now. And his offensive line's a little confused, too. Kansas' pressure packages are definitely getting to him.
So they come on for the field goal attempt. And Wolford out of Overland Park, Kansas, with a 48-yard attempt for Wolford here.
Nailed it.
Got it long enough, and it is good. So Wolford, 17 of 21 now on the season. And Wolford gives KU a little bit of a fright there, as Mizzou now within 9.
And they got the hold and the snap and the hold down in the good turf. So the footing, everything was good.
So with 23 seconds to go, and Kansas 19-10, Todd Reesing has really been something today.
He really has, Bill, and he's taken exactly what's been given to him, and he's found Briscoe many times. Briscoe that time breaks the tackle in the open field and scores. And he's going to get after Briscoe. Briscoe is very, very tough to defend with that 6'3", 200-pound frame of his. And he's found when there's a breakdown in coverage, Todd Reesing is going to make you pay for that. But he's been very, very patient with the short intermediate game. Has not forced anything down the football field. He has really executed the game plan as capably as it can be executed.
You see what he is, 21-24. And this year, the quarterback in the Big 12, Reesing, fits in there with the rest of those guys. Sometimes doesn't get the publicity maybe deserves because of people like Bradford and McCoy and Harrell from the South. But the two they're playing here are just great quarterbacks as well. Wolford kicks this one off. Big hit by Mortensen on the return. Tomorrow night, be there live. First show that breaks down the new BCS stadium.
Home is tight, Bill. It's like 0.8 of a point differential.
That's the end of the first half, and yeah, those BCS standings are really something, with still great games to go, even though we're finishing up November.
Absolutely, and Texas is in the clubhouse after pounding A&M on Thanksgiving night. What will Oklahoma do in Stillwater later today?
Let's send it down to Jim Knox with Mark Mangino.
All right, thank you, Bill. Coach, I tell you what, you guys came out with a lot of injury. You got the halftime lead, playing well on both sides of the football, especially that defense, a few turnovers.
Well, we said we had to keep their offense off the field today best we can. So far in the first half, we've been successful. It's been a combination of our offense moving the football real well, and our defense is playing really well, and we're giving them good field position on kicks. We're really putting our defense back to the wall here. We had to do a better job on kickoffs, but our defense is playing well.
And a great job on Chase Daniel. Okay, Coach, we'll let you head to halftime. We head to halftime. It is Kansas leading the border showdown, 19-10.
with you here. We expected a close fight. I don't know if anybody quite expected Missouri to dominate, and turnovers have been the story.
Yeah, it really been the story. The Kansas defense has been playing out of their minds, really. And for Missouri to be stymied offensively as much as they have is quite surprising. Darryl Stuckey, I mean, he just makes a great read and jumps the route, interception. Here he forces the fumble and recovers the fumble. I mean, that's just a huge play. Now you have a safety in the end zone, 1 yard line. Laptad makes the sack, safety. This has been the story of the football game. Missouri, 5 first downs and a half. You kidding me? They're averaging 26 a game. Look at the third down conversions by Kansas. 7 out of 10, keeping Missouri on the sideline. Time of possession, the plays run. I mean, Kansas is executing the game plan to perfection.
All right, thank you, Dave. Yes, Kansas in control here. And let's send it down to Jim Knox.
All right, Bill talked to Gary Pinkel at halftime. He said, we just got to play better. They turned the ball over too many times. Also, guys, Chase Daniel came out about 10 minutes left to go until halftime was up to warm up. These guys came out of the second half. It looks like they have a lot more energy than when they started the game. We'll see what happens.
All right, we look forward to it, and we'll see how they react with Kansas to get the football here to start this second half. The Jayhawks up 9. Mizzou getting that field goal by Wolford. And here it comes on the back of the 10, the 15, Briscoe, and out to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the Jayhawks' first half possessions after that 22-yard return.
Well, they didn't take advantage in the red zone here. Field goal and interception. But then they did punch one in for a touchdown, and they score again. You know, not a bad job. A 16-play drive and a 10-play drive. That's what we're talking about ball control and melting the clock. Also a 9-play drive to boot. I mean, they just extended their drives, converted 7 of 10 third downs. Unbelievable.
Reesing. Throwing here. Oh, incomplete. Having for Briscoe. Yeah, he was open. First half leader statistically for the Jayhawks. Hard to fault Reesing in his work. 21 of 24. Does have the one pick that was in the end zone. Sharp has battled his way for 30 yards, and Briscoe's been what? Briscoe.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, Briscoe has been the story. Reesing to Briscoe is as good a duo as there is here in this football game. And Sharp, I think, his toughness, not the yards, but the fact that he carried it 13 times with damaged ribs says a lot about him.
Again, the pass, Wilson. Jonathan Wilson stopped near the 30. We'll take a look at the Days In scouting report. We'll update it if you recall what we were thinking about prior to the game from Dave Lapham. Here's a look for the Jayhawks.
Hold serve, yeah. They've more than held serve. I mean, they're dominating the serve. Their serve's going 100 miles an hour plus. Stuckey, huge plays. And then Reesing has had a couple of plays throwing the football as well. I mean, they've made some great adjustments. They were shut out in the first half last year. This year, they hung 19 points on the board. I'd say the adjustments were there. Big plus across the board for the Jayhawks.
3rd and 6 from the 29. In trouble. Reesing spins out of it. Somehow it's caught by Wilson. And a first down. Go figure.
Reesing, Fran Tarkenton Jr. I mean, Todd Reesing is just wearing defensive linemen out. This guy, it's almost like you're playing, you know, video football with a joystick. All right, now I'm gonna make him bounce and spin and bounce out here. All right, there's nowhere to throw. Now I'm just gonna avoid another one as I'm going down, throw the football for a completion. That is a total extension of a play by a quarterback that creates plays.
Reesing, the keeper here, goes down near the 37-yard line. William Moore made the tackle. You know, on that last play, you got to give a little credit to the redshirt freshman tackle, Jeff Spikes.
He stayed with it.
Yeah, and he helped spring him a little bit more time, and you never know what'll pay off. These two teams coming in here. You see the enthusiasm from the stands. Hungry.
Both of these quarterbacks never quit on a play, and Reesing showed that instinct on that last snap. Unbelievable play.
2nd and 12. Nearly picked off.
Oh, Moore should have had it.
Yeah, William Moore, who's got 11 picks in his career, and took one back for a touchdown against Iowa State in their last game. Well, give me a do-over here.
Yeah, Moore has 11 interceptions on his career, and he's taken 4 back for scores. And this one is right there for him. 99 times out of 100 he catches it. That was the one time he didn't. As a team, Missouri has 11 interceptions on the year, and they've taken 5 back for touchdowns. So they not only pick it off, they do something with it when they get their hands on the football. But the first thing you have to do, I think Moore was thinking about doing something with it before he really caught it.
They're +2 in the turnover margin for the season coming in here today. Turnovers have been costly for him as Reesing calls a timeout before a 3rd and 12 coming up from his 37-yard line. Gary Finkel and the Tigers on the short side, 19-10 on College Football Saturday from KC.
Sometimes it feels like you'll
come prepared. The gates opened at 6:30, sold out for months, and Kansas and Missouri are putting on a show. Jayhawks big 3rd and 12 on the opening possession of the second half from the 37. Reesing then looks to the sideline for the call. Fakes to Sharp. Steps up. Fires. Wow. Briscoe. Another sensational grab by Desmond Briscoe. And move those chains deep into Missouri territory.
Just an outstanding effort and a great throw. Runs by Geddes. And Geddes makes the tackle, but well after the play is made. Briscoe's on the outside, and he just continues up the football field, and Geddes gets beaten. He's looking for some safety help. It's not there. That's the best connection of the game. There's been many of them with Briscoe.
Sharp comes back on the carries. We come back to the live action, and Missouri answers this time. Weatherspoon and Christopher. Another look at Briscoe, who now another 100-yard receiving game, 6th this season.
Boy, it's just outstanding effort. Goes up and catches the ball at the apex of his jump. And remember, he's 6'3", 205 pounds, and he can jump out of the building. He's got great speed. He's a nightmare matchup. You're gonna have to put 2 guys on Briscoe.
Briscoe last year, 7 receptions, 94 yards against Missouri in the game here at Arrowhead. Different tone to this one, though. The Tigers jumped out with a big lead and then held a furious comeback last year. It's Kansas trying to add to its lead right now. And again, with the passing game and Fields from Reesing. And he is stopped across the 30 down to the 27-yard line. William Moore there making the play for the Tigers.
Todd Reesing, he's a competitor. There's no other way to look at this guy. You know, when you have some early success, it kind of swells you up a little bit. You know, I mean, you start to play with a little swagger, and right now, Todd Reesing's swagger is as big as it's been all year long.
3rd down, 2 to go. Reesing right up the middle. And he has the first down easily as he dives across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Todd Reesing.
What a cut. I mean, Reesing planted that foot, and he got up the football field, and everybody else is there trying to cut and react. They go to the turf. Watch Todd Reesing on the edge. Cuts up inside, and you have defenders just falling to the turf. Todd Reesing is very, very quick in his decision-making process, whether to throw it, where to throw it, or run it.
Got the Tigers on their heels on this opening drive with a 1st and 10 at the 19 now. Nice snap. Sharp right at the middle of the 10, the 5. Sharp. Wow. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. $19 yards and the TD for Jake Sharp, his 11th of the season on the ground.
That's the 4th red zone possession for the Kansas Jayhawks. They've scored 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and had an interception. Perfect call. Look at the block. I mean, that's the pulling lineman. Fits in there perfectly. Cuts it up the football field. Just an outstanding effort. A little draw trap right there. Excellent execution by Kansas.
Flags thrown.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, repeat the try.
And And now push it back a little bit for Jacob Brandstetter for the PAT. But how big to score on the opening drive?
It's huge. The opening drive of the half, it's huge. And now it's a 3-score game. Whether this extra point is good or not, well, it's 2 scores with 2 two-point conversions. It's either a 15 or a 16-point lead, depending on the outcome. But that was a massive score.
Brandstetter knocks it through. And Sharp got the glory here, but what about the catch by Briscoe on that huge 3rd down play to set it all up? Yard TD scamper. Now Brandstetter to kick it off to Macklin. He'll come up to take this one. Always dangerous from the 24. And Macklin literally upended across the 40, and I think it was Brandstetter that got him.
I think it was, and they're gonna love that when they look at that tape. I'll tell you, you have a tough kicker down there playing linebacker. Watch Brandstetter come across and say, I'm going to get after you. Ooh. I mean, that's a head across the bow hit by Brandstetter. And, you know, you got to replace your divots. These players, when they're landing that one-point landing, they're coming up with a chunk of turf in the face mask. Got to replace those divots or it gets to be a dicey field.
You play golf with me too much. I think it's just part of every play. 1st and 10. How do the Tigers react? Chase Daniel to the 40. He says, all right, do it myself here. This time he hangs on. He had that 54-yard run in the 1st quarter where he had it stripped from him. He picks up 20 on this one.
Well, all he does is fake the reverse or fake the zone read and then keep the football. You know, inside zone play, it's a zone read. He just says that backside defensive end isn't playing his responsibility. I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to make him get up the football field more than he is. Look at this formation. Spread the entire field.
Wow.
Look at the linemen spread everywhere.
Look at this look.
I love it. Dave Christensen.
Daniel back to
wow. That's a fumble.
And they pick it up. Missouri does and hangs on. But KU not fooled by that.
Elvis Fisher heads up to jump on that football because a backward pass is a fumble. And Fisher said that's a live ball. I'm going to pick it up.
Pass was to Patton, the backup quarterback.
It was going to be a double pass. Dave Christensen said, all right, Patton, I'm going to backward pass to one quarterback, and he was going to throw it down the football field. But no, I tell you, that was just an outstanding read by Laptad. But Fisher, who was beaten by Laptad, said, I got to at least get back on this football, make sure it's not a total disaster.
2nd and 20. Washington in the backfield. Macklin scoops by for the carry, and Macklin. See where they say he stepped out as Mortensen forced him out here. How about Missouri's first half possessions? You don't see this very often. A team averaging 45 points in 510 yards of total offense a game.
Now, when's the last time you saw the first 3 possessions were only 3 plays? One was a punt, and the other 2 ended in turnovers. Then they get together going on a 6-yard, 8-play drive, but then the safety, then another 9-play drive for the field goal. They only had 6 possessions. That's how much Kansas controlled the football. Outstanding job by the Jayhawks.
Missouri had 7 3-and-outs for the season coming in here today. Daniel buys some time, and it is complete. Had to wait for a C. It was Chase Kaufman. He's got the touchdown reception earlier today, and Kaufman has been in and out of the lineup. Makes a big reception here.
And Kaufman does a good job of feeling the area to settle in this off of the linebacker. A little smash route by the tight end. Make sure that he keeps the ball off the turf. And he feels the linebacker on his outside shoulder, and he makes himself available to chase Daniel.
And at the 26, empty backfield again for Daniel out of the spread here with Mizzou. Macklin, watch out here. Turns it on, another touchdown. Beep, beep. Wow. Does he fly? And Mizzou answers on a 27-yard scoring strike, and I do mean strike. Daniel to Macklin.
Macklin gets to full speed in 2 strides. It is unbelievable how quickly he can accelerate. And I think Missouri's going to go for 2 here. Instead of kicking the extra point, they're going to go for 2. And Macklin, once he found a seam in the middle of the football field, he got after it. I mean, he was in high gear before Kansas realized what he was doing.
So 26-16. They'll go for 2 with 8:14 to go in the third quarter. And a timeout KU. So Kansas, keep that in mind. They've burned 2 timeouts already here in the third quarter.
That's right.
Got the lead now. We'll see if that comes into play much later on. What a game we've got here in Kansas City. And look at Macklin scamper. Man,
Fly!
Dandy going on down there. Thank you very much. And right here, it is Kansas up by 10. Both teams have scored touchdowns to start the third quarter. See what KU's got in their bag of tricks. As Sharp is stuffed on the opening carry here. Baston makes the tackle for the Missouri defense.
The thing that's impressing me about Sharp is a lot of his carries are between the tackles. People thought Sharp's too small, he's not durable enough. He's got speed on the edge, but as Mark Mangino said, he described him as a tough customer. And he's playing with an injured rib today and taking all those hits. He is a tough customer. Agreed.
Yeah, he's gotten 15 carries, 47 yards. They've been tough yards, but he's got a 19-yard TD run. Reesing, deflected, intercepted, and here comes Baston. The big junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri, not far from the stadium, and he takes care of the turnover here.
And we've seen everything today, and you got a Kansas offensive lineman very, very slow to get up, and he's struggling turning over his backside. Chet Hartley, who's struggling there on the football field, and they can't afford to lose that man. But what a play by Baston to get back. And he gets he's in the zone blitz. He's got the middle in the zone blitz. He's playing linebacker, bats it to himself. Attaboy, big fella. Be a little athlete. Or be a big athlete.
Some pretty good hops for a 305-pounder.
That's an explosion right there, and he gives his football team a short field. And now, okay, Missouri just went down the field and scored on Macklin's explosive play. The Kansas defense has to come right back out in the field and defend a 35-yard field. A very, very big point of this football game. How will this unfold?
Macklin's had 6 touches for 114 yards today. And he became, with that TD reception, most receiving TDs in a season with 11. Wide open, Saunders! Mizzou back on for 6 more! Man! (26-22) on a 35-yard TD pass. Daniel to Saunders.
And I'll tell you, we used to call this snake eyes. After a turnover, we would go on the sideline and say, what play are we going to run? And we come out on the football field. The widest receiver is just going to run a little bit of a vertical, run a little go, and they break coverage. They blow coverage. And as a result, Tommy Saunders says, Chase, Chase. He puts the hand up, I'm right here. Unbelievable few seconds of a lot of points for the Tigers.
Wolford for the point after, and it is good. And Chase Daniel had a rough first half, like lightning, and that's the way Missouri operates. And these Mizzou fans are saying, knew we had to hang around. It's now 26-23.
It's amazing. Turnovers are the great equalizer. Baston with a great play. We saw him on the sideline being congratulated. And this is just Chase Daniel fakes a little bit of a reverse, get the ball airborne, a broken coverage. Stuckey's trying to get back and cover as best he can. Corner just let him run right by. Never rerouted. And Chase Daniel says, you know, Todd Reesing, he took advantage of a broken coverage for a touchdown. I can do the same thing. When you make mistakes, and there's Baston who made the interception, what an athletic play he made. When you do that to these quarterbacks and see the whole field, it is coffin nails.
Taco Bell with a scoring drive, if you will. One play, 35 yards. So Macklin hits. They don't get the two-point conversion. And then the interception by Baston. And on the first play, a 35-yard scoring play. And Missouri now within 3.
How good is this rivalry? Both teams claim to be ahead 54-53 with 9 ties. They both won 6 games in the Big 12. And this one is anybody's football game right now. This is the epitome of a rivalry.
Great college football action here at Arrowhead Stadium. Briscoe, the deep man, calls a man off in front and takes him near the 13. Briscoe, watch out. He's trying to beat him out at the 40 and still stumbling across midfield. Desmond Briscoe brought down by Kevin Rutland.
He made Hardy Ricks miss on covering the kickoff from Missouri. Hardy Ricks was there and he missed. Briscoe is dangerous. Let's face it. That's Ricks missing right there. And now he finds a crease and he almost busts it out of the house. But the touchdown saving tackle is made by Rutland. I mean, Briscoe, you gotta find him every snap. And he's talking to Todd Reesing right now as he finds his spot in the formation. You gotta find him and get multiple hats on that guy. Here he is at the bottom of the screen. What's he gonna do next?
40 yards on that one, and he's not normally a kick returner. Boy, has he done the job today. Reesing tries to shoulder in to the 45-yard line of Mizzou, where Christopher is there waiting to put the hit on it.
I think Mark Mangino is doing it in this football game. Briscoe is such a talented weapon. You don't want to necessarily jeopardize him with injury, but in this game, he's saying, I got to have you. You can dictate field position. Yeah. You got to do everything for us today. This is the last go-round for us, and it's big for the seniors. Step up.
2nd and 8 from the 45 of Missouri. Reesing on the option to Sharp. And Sharp, nothing doing near that Missouri sideline, where Barnes is there to make the tackle for the Tigers, and this Missouri crowd going nuts these days. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Overstock.com's prices are so low you can afford to buy something for your friends too. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
I'll tell you what, turnovers are the biggest catalyst for momentum changes as there is in the game. It's all about turnovers. I mean, Kansas was cruising along until that dramatic turnover by the takeaway by Basham.
3rd and 9 for Reesing. In trouble here. Breaks the pocket. Flag is thrown. Reesing incomplete near the 36-yard line.
Well, you got Jeremiah Hatch holding. That's the call. It's coming against Kansas. He grabbed and tackled Shulai.
Dexton Fields, the intended receiver.
Jeremiah Hatch got his money's worth, Bill.
Yeah.
He wasn't a cheapie.
Holding. Offense number 7.
Watch him on the left side as he tries to pass protect on the backside. Up, take him down. It's a little bulldog, take him to the turf. He got caught on the backside.
So Missouri will decline the penalty, though, and Rojas comes on to punt. Alonzo, the 6'3" sophomore from Miami, Florida. Remember, he had that 33-yard punt on the rugby style where you roll out and kick a low end over end. That he fell down, but it ended up on the 2-yard line last time. Tries to duplicate it here. They're difficult to return. He didn't get near the roll, but just the same. Spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Still pretty good shape. Down inside the 15, about the 12 and a half. And that's where Missouri will operate after a 30-yard punt. You know, we've been fortunate this year to cover the Big 12 Conference. In the year of, we said, the quarterback, well, when you got the quarterbacks you got, the receivers are unbelievable as well. And they're starting to dominate the final voting for the awards. Like the Blitnikoff Award, all 3 finalists for the Big 12 Conference.
Yeah, it's that way with the Davey O'Brien Award for quarterbacks, all 3 for the Blitnikoff Award, and all 3 for the John Mackey Award at tight end. They're all Big 12 performers. That tells you how they're pitching and catching in this conference.
What a group, that trio of Crabtree, Bryant, and Macklin. You're seeing Macklin here today. There's Crabtree's going against Baylor for Tech today, and Bryant will try to lead Oklahoma State to an upset over Oklahoma this evening. Mortensen makes the tackle on this play. Here's Macklin. You know, you try to limit his touches. Well, they had. He only had 6 touches, but he is so explosive.
Yep.
That
on any one of them, he can go to the house like he did on that pass in the middle of the field when they got the matchup. It's all about mismatches, and he got the mismatch with Holt. And once Chase Daniels saw that, it was like, good night.
2nd and 12 for Daniel here. Saunders, the receiver. At the 10, Saunders trying to hold off tacklers. Motors out to where Justin Thornton finally stops him. Marking around the 13-yard line as Chase Daniel in the first half. Take a look at that top line. 6 of 15, 62 yards. Second half, 4 of 4. How about that?
That's a perfect quarterback rating right there.
And he's run 8 times for 80 yards.
Yeah, that's some all-purpose or total yards or all-purpose yards for the quarterback. But 4 for 4, and 2 of them are touchdowns. That's not too shabby.
3rd and 10 at the 13 for the Tigers in this wintry mix here at Arrowhead. Macklin, boy, he's sitting there waiting, going hurry up ball.
Yeah,
because the defender Stuckey was on the way, but he made the grab.
He's a special player in so many ways. They move him all over the field. Sometimes he's the outside receiver, sometimes he's the inside receiver. And he, from the inside position, runs an out pattern right there, and he gets so much separation because when he sinks his hips and gets in and out of cuts, he's going at a rate that nobody else is going.
11 yards on the pickup. They move the chains, and Daniel dancing here.
Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness.
Great fake, and he was able to elude the defender and got the ball to Washington. Didn't get much on the play, but it looked like he was going to get smothered.
Caleb Blakesley said, hey, I got you in my sights. You're an apparition. There you are. Whoops, man, there you aren't. And now I got to turn around and try to find you again. I mean, that's not fair. That's a guy with rack and pinion staring against an 18-wheeler in space, and they just can't turn as quickly.
Blakesley, the junior out of Ottawa, Kansas. They did contain him, though. It's 2nd and 9. Daniel comes out again, and this time he is brought down. A loss on the play, and Anyabule is there to make the stop for Kansas.
Boy, once he got inside, he closed on the quarterback in a heartbeat. Watch him on the edge. Gonna come up and go under. And once he goes under, watch the move. Up, under, close, finish. That's a heck of a rush on the edge right there. Now you have the offensive tackle saying, I got to set a little shorter, and he might be able to get outside on him.
Washington sets up in the backfield. It is a 3rd down and 10. Daniel, great catch by Macklin, but he is shy of the 1st down.
Boy, if he could have kept him on his feet, Bill, he could turn it upfield for big yards. But he had to leave his feet to catch the football, or he felt like he had to. And Chase Daniel leads him just a little bit too much, and he feels like he has to leave his feet. If he doesn't leave his feet and takes another stride, he may be still running. So he can turn it up the football field and generate the 1st down, but he's short as a result of having to go to the ground to make the catch.
Jake Harry, the 6'1", 195-pound junior punter, comes on for Mizzou. And Damon Patterson, the Mesquite, Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is deep. The lone deep man for the Jayhawks. And we're going to fake it, and
too much time.
Yep,
too much time.
Game.
And they had it too. They had what they were looking for, it looks like.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Boy, that was way deep in your own territory, but on 4th down and just a couple of 3 yards, they had this fake in their game plan, but unfortunately the clock expired before they could make the snap to execute it. Now they're going to have to punt it away. 4th and long 7, short 8, element of surprise out of the picture. Now you got to just punt that thing away.
Push it back 5, and Harry will set up about his own 15. Patterson got the 35, and here again is that low end over end kick on the run, and he gets a nice one here and eliminates any return possibility. So the Tigers get a pretty good deal out of that. Gary Pinkel, the head coach of Mizzou, and what a job he has done coming from Toledo and getting a contract extension. He's going to finish his career at Mizzou and have a chance to tell us about it.
We've done a good job, I think, building and developing this program. We're certainly not where we want to be, but I just want to stay the rest of my career in the University of Missouri.
Look at that smile on his face. I'd have a smile on my face, too. I wonder what he's loaning money at. I hope it's prime plus a quarter point to his buddies, because he's going to be well compensated and deservedly so.
Yeah, he has earned it. 8th year, 58 and 39 with the Tigers, as this one goes out of bounds, sharp on the carry. And how successful has he been as the flag is thrown here? We'll take a look. And he had a guy named Brad Smith who he recruited out of Ohio that he brought back that got this program going, and then Chase Daniel took over and it's been nothing but great success on the rise since.
Well, it's holding on Kansas is the penalty. But look at that, 12 wins and 9 wins, and there's still this game and potential, and there's 2 others. There's the conference championship game and there's the bowl game, so they could get as many as 12 wins theoretically still. And in the last 39 games, Bill, they're 30 wins and 9 defeats in their last 39. That will get it done. Gary Pinkel has done an outstanding job recruiting players to fit his system. And when they went to that spread offense and they got Chase Daniel, it was off to the races we go.
1st and 20. The ball on the 16 now for Kansas, clinging to a 3-point lead. Reesing, the shovel pass.
Good call.
Sharp motoring across the 30-yard line, and now they're clicking again as Jake Sharp, with Jackson making the tackle, picks up 18.
Well, you think they're off schedule after that big holding call, but to make a little shovel pass call is a great dynamic there. You run screens or draws or a shovel pass if they're going to be pinning their ears back to rush the quarterback. And Sharp went north and south in a heartbeat after that reception. Excellent job by Sharp.
18 for 64 yards now on the ground. This one through the fingertips as they're trying to get to Briscoe. Meyer, first grab on it, though, I believe.
And, you know, that shovel pass, it's a good call because if he doesn't catch it, it's not a fumble, it's an incompletion. I mean, that's a pass. So, you know, that goes into Reesing stats. It adds to his passing yards. It's a reception for Sharp. And there's very low risk because if he does drop the football, it's not a fumble. It's an incompletion.
Sharp, I should have put myself for 17 of 46 rushing. But dual threat, you got to be in today's game. And it is now 3rd and 2 in the 34. Reesing. Oh, there's this one out of Bullock. It was incomplete. Trying to connect again to who else but Briscoe, the sophomore out of Dallas. And Bridges covering on the play.
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's trying to work his way off the field. He wants to get off because he doesn't want to burn a timeout, so his teammates carrying him off. Remember the Leftwich deal? Byron Leftwich, when he was injured, now they call the referees blow the whistle. Medical attention does come out in the football field to help him get off the field. His arrival with the football was simultaneous, and right now Mark Mangino's not going to roll the dice and go for it backed up like he is. He's going to play field position and punt it away. But Bridges has definitely got a lower leg injury.
He had an interception against Kansas in the Mizzou victory last year here at Arrowhead, coming off a 13-tackle game against Iowa State 2 weeks ago in their last outing.
And here it is. Moore knows. He said, okay, let's get him off the field so we don't have to burn a timeout. Let's the Byron Leftwich. Let's, you know, only he didn't complete a pass, but they're trying to get him off the football field, and the officials say, hey, wait a minute now. We got an injured player. Let's not be crazy. Let's do this right.
Hopefully he'll be able to return. Rojas on to punt again for Kansas. And Macklin, the deep man. Fourth and 2 at the 34.
Wow.
Rojas booms
over
this
his
thing.
head.
And this one rolls down near the 10-yard line. So Rojas with a 56-yard punt and no return for Macklin.
Man, he just flipped the field right there, Bill. You know, you're right. Macklin never realized that Rojas had that kind of explosion on that foot. That football came off his foot like a howitzer.
That's just a huge play that Macklin doesn't get to return it, and you get maximum yardage out of your kick.
Absolutely. Massive play.
Daniel nearly had this one picked off. Little slant looking for Macklin, and Holt was there covering. Holt's got an interception on the season.
Well, that's the matchup that resulted in a touchdown. Macklin working against Holt. They try to run the route the other way. The same pivot route, and Holt stays on his feet, and Macklin didn't. On the touchdown, Holt slipped, and Macklin stayed on his feet, caught it, separated, and scored. They tried it to the left instead of the right, and Holt was the one that stayed on his feet.
Washington in motion. Gets the carry. And Washington plugs his way to the 15-yard line for the Tigers. Holt making the tackle. Washington coming in third in the Big 12 at better than 82 yards a game. And trying to get to that 1,000-yard mark. 909 yards on the season.
Third quarter winding down, but Bill, how about Holt's versatility? They have him rushing the passer, and then they have him in the slot covering Macklin. Are you kidding me? That's a heavy berth.
They're all laying it on the line today. That is the end of the third quarter with the score Kansas 26, Missouri 23. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC. What a dandy we've got. So many times games don't live up to the billing. This border showdown as we go to the fourth quarter. Wow. Kansas with a lead of 3. Mizzou with the ball. 3rd and 5 on their own 15 to start the fourth quarter. Chase Daniel, empty backfield. And the quarterback out of Southlake, Texas, dumps it over to Macklin. And he's got the first down here. Our KFC game summary. It has been a game where turnovers have been huge, and Macklin has made his impact. Briscoe has done everything you could ask. The total yards, KU still the edge.
That's right. Look at them on third down, Bill. 10 for 15, 2 for 3, 67%. Phenomenal on third down.
Mizzou getting the big conversion on that one, and now here's Chase Daniel scrambling. Gonna keep it and dives for a couple. Brought down by Chris Harris.
You know, Chase Daniel extended, created a play there. He's got a little bit of a divot. There's a lot of divots in the grills today. They're taking up chunks out there. But watch down the football field. There's nowhere for Chase Daniel to go with the football. So he gets out of pocket and extends. And then he fakes and going to get as much as he can. Look at him lower the shoulder. He's going to torpedo himself into any defender. I mean, he just launched himself for extra yards.
There you see his running game. He had that 54-yarder that unfortunately a fumble gave it back to Kansas. And here is Macklin again. So many ways. And he this time goes to the 47-yard line, a 23-yard pickup. Dave, we talk about how defenses say they got to always keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
We try to keep an eye on it. It's hard.
They move him all over the field. Dave Christensen does a great job of moving him all over the field. Here's the reverse. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Wheeler had him for a loss, but you can't arm tackle him. And then once he turns it up the field, got to start running.
1st and 10 at the 47 now of Mizzou for the Tigers and Daniel. He delivers this one. Saunders wide open, then he dropped the football. Incomplete.
I'll tell you what, Patterson made the hit right as the football was there. I think the contact may have jarred him just enough where he didn't hold on to the football, but he's very disappointed. Saunders realizes he has to make this catch. But watch the contact right in the middle of the back just as the ball arrives. And that just absolutely jostled him. Chase said, you know, I know, Tommy, I know you catch that ball, and I know you wanted to catch that football, but you got to give a little bit of credit to Patterson. He hit him right where it hurts when it counted.
Saunders with 1,447 yards receiving in his career and 7th on the all-time reception list coming in. He doesn't drop many of those. This one, Stuckey, once again, coming to the rescue. Wow. What a play by Darryl Stuckey.
He covered some ground, Bill. And Chase Daniel, he fakes the reverse, and he puts the ball down by his side. He was very nonchalant, like he didn't have the football. And honestly, he threw this into a spot that was too tight. And he goes to the sideline and slams his helmet to the turf, knowing he shouldn't have thrown this football. Look at the ball fake there. And now he's going to lay it out there. But Stuckey says, no. I sniffed this one out. This is my football. 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Stuckey has been dynamite.
And about the time you think Kansas is losing grip on it, they come up with what else? A huge turnover. And now what do they do with it? 1st and 10 from the 37.
It is. Turnovers are momentum builders and killers.
Reesing goes to work to Sharp. He is hammered along the Missouri sideline. Bonds make the tackle.
Let's take a look as Chase Daniel, watch, he'll do the ball fake, and Stuckey's back here. And watch, Stuckey's still looking at Daniel. He says, I see the route, and I see the football. I'm going to make a play on the football. Just an outstanding effort of him just reading the quarterback's eyes.
Reesing comes back and drills this one near the 44-yard line. Kerry Meyer on the receiving end. And Kansas picks up 6. William Moore making the tackle, and Stuckey. Kansas wins today, certainly one of the real heroes for the Jayhawks.
Well, they said he was defensive MVP when we've had Kansas during the year, and he's playing like it today. He's been big, big time.
3rd and 3 now for the Jayhawks, trying to keep the momentum. Reesing, good protection. Now breaks the pocket. He keeps it.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
He got rocked.
Ball came out, but they said he was down.
Brock Christopher delivered the blow.
Whew. And he was starting to give himself up. You have to be careful here, because if he starts to slide and give himself up, you can't blow him up, but he did not declare it soon enough. You know, Christopher doesn't know if he's going to continue on or not. And Reesing has to give himself up sooner than that, or he's going to expose himself to that kind of detonation.
He got the first down. Wow. Yeah, that's difficult both ways. The quarterback trying to figure out what he's got to have, and that defensive player going, what is he going to do? And Sharp comes back, gets stopped for nothing here. As a defender, you're coming to attack, but you risk, as you say, if you don't read it just right, a big penalty.
But in fairness to Christopher, once he starts to commit, he can't stop his body in midair. And I think the officials saw that Reesing had not given himself up. Christopher had already started to launch himself, and it was too late. You know, just physics don't allow it to happen, so.
Would agree with you.
Yeah, Reesing's going to be a little bit smarter with it. You know, you don't want to take that kind of shot.
Reesing banged up most of the season anyway. He's going to need that hot tub today.
2 weeks off has been remarkable, regenerating a lot of these injuries. You know, you look at Sharp, Reesing, and Meyer.
He got hammered here as he was trying to connect to Briscoe, and that was Shulock coming up on him. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com at home with the O.
Bill, I love rivalry football. This is the epitome of a rivalry football game that we have going on right here. It's a 3-point game. The ball's at about midfield, and it's 3rd and long. Can't be any closer.
3rd and 10 from the 49 of Kansas. Reesing. Meyer leaping, cannot hang on, incomplete. Now the punt unit will come on as Geddes was covering on the play that time for the Missouri Tigers.
And what you got to start to do in this situation into the 4th quarter, about 11 minutes to go, is play that field position. Meyer took his eyes off the football to make sure that he had an awareness of where the sideline was to get that 1 foot down. And in doing that, to make sure that he tapped it down, it's a rarity for Meyer to drop the football, the most sure-handed guy on the team.
Macklin is deep. Alonzo, the Rojas, the punter, rolls this end over end and out of bounds. And Missouri will have to find a different way to get it to their star Macklin on a 30-yard punt. We'll be back, 4th quarter, KC.
Away, force the fumble, recover the fumble, Chase Daniel's eyes again for another big takeaway. He has been dynamic, and that's not to speak of all the tackles that he's been involved with as well. It's been a one-man wrecking crew.
1st and 10 for Mizzou now following that punt. Here is Washington as the Tigers. He's tackled by Patterson. Missouri trying to get it going here.
In a 3-point deficit with over 10.5 minutes to play, there's no panic at all in the Missouri sideline, in the huddle, up in the coach's booth. They feel very confident about being able to overcome it.
Of course, the Tigers got off this great start this season before they were derailed by Oklahoma State and Texas, and then they've responded with a late season surge. Washington, the receiving end here. That'll move the chains as Mortensen makes the tackle on the play. 12-yard pickup that time for Mizzou.
I can't say how well Kansas' defense has played today, though, because the first 3 and out Missouri had all year long was in their 6th game. against Oklahoma State. They did not have a 3-and-out for over 5 football games. And then today, Kansas came out, first 3 possessions, Missouri ran no more than 3 plays, and any time there were 2 turnovers.
Macklin. That just about evens up the yardage on the day. It was 322, 317 Kansas total offense going into that play. And that's the kind of game we've had. Rivera made the play there.
And right now it's +1 in the turnover department for Kansas. We said early in the game that they had to go +2 or better to win the football game. They're up 3 and they're +1. I know they'd like to get more takeaways and be up by more than 3 points.
So Dave Christensen, the offensive coordinator, see what he's got designed here for Chase and crew. Why not Chase and Macklin? And Jeremy touches the football. First down, Missouri at the 48. Patterson on the play, coverage-wise for KU.
Now, as a wide receiver, you not only have to have good hands, but you have to have ballerina feet. And he got actually 3 feet down, 2, and then they got the left foot down again. Awareness of where he is on the football field and getting those feet on the ground.
10-yard pickup, 1st and 10. Jackson. He pushes through to the 45, and across that of Kansas, Philip Strozier, sophomore from here in Kansas City. Rockhurst High School makes the tackle.
You know, you mentioned Dave Christensen a little bit earlier, Bill. In line for the Wyoming head coaching job, New Mexico, maybe Washington, maybe San Diego State. Matt Eberflus, Toledo is in the mix for him as the defensive coordinator. Some of these assistants may be moving on with the success of Missouri.
The entire staff's been with Gary Pinkel his entire time at Missouri. Just phenomenal as Macklin on this play, but that's a big part of their success. They are consistent in everything they do, and that it considers the coaching staff.
Continuity and consistency, the double C, Bill, you're exactly right. And in that situation, they've been here many times before. Oh, remember when so-and-so tried to do this against us defensively 5 years ago? Here's what we did, guys. Remember, it's much easier to make adjustments when they've all been together for that long a period of time. Since before 2001, that entire staff has been on the same page mentally.
You see Chase Daniels, second half, been warming up. He did have the 1 pick. And the handoff here, Washington. He's got room to roam and taking about 4 with him. Down to the 26.5, maybe the 25-yard line. Holt making the stop for Kansas.
A nice little scrum right there. Little rugby action. Curtis Gregory, the right guard. Hats off to you, big boy. Here he comes. Get that big old semi out of the way. Knocking Holt around a little bit. And now you start pushing the ball a little more, Curtis. Get after it. That's it. Work the pile down the field. Nice job, Gregory.
I didn't know we had a truck mic down there on the field picking all that sound up. What a crew we've got here. 1st and 10 at the 25 as Daniel all day to throw and finds Kaufman. A rare drop.
Yep. You know, honestly, in fairness to him, he's coming off the sideline cold, and it's a cold day, and you're not in the flow of the game. You know, and they want to spot play him some because he's such a gifted player, but he's limited because of that turf toe. The left big toe is definitely hurting him. And he tried to make his first cut and what to do with the football before he looked it in, and he hasn't had the reps. You have to have reps, practice and game reps, and he's got some rust and dust right now.
Got his 28th career receiving touchdown earlier today, though. Daniel on 2nd down and 10. Scrambling from his own 4th, the 40 now, and we'll throw it away.
That's a good play. You don't want to take the loss. You don't want to take a sack. But I'll credit Kansas. I mean, they're rushing 4 and they're dropping 7 into coverage. And watch what happens. You know, they end up rushing. Actually, they brought 5. And with that, there's nowhere to go down the football field. I mean, they absolutely just blanketed the receivers down the football field for Chase Daniel.
Borson was giving Chase, and then I think he just went off limping a bit. Meanwhile, you see Jeff Wolford, one of the best ever for Missouri, loosening up. He may be in to tie it up here shortly, or attempt to. 7:47 to go. Timeout, Mizzou. So the Tigers on the march.
Big play. We got to think about it.
We'll be right back on College Football Saturday.
You have to find Macklin instead of where's Waldo. Where's Macklin? He can be anywhere. He comes at you from all angles, catching the football, running the football, returning kicks. And right now, it's 3rd down and 9. You got to go to your best player. Who's your best player? Macklin. Try to put him in a situation, either formation or by motion, where you get a mismatch so you get the ball in his hands.
Leads the Big 12 in all-purpose yardage with 202. You saw what he's done so far today. And now, Missouri has the timeout, 3rd and 10 from the 25 of Kansas.
There he is.
Daniel.
He went to him. He went to him.
Wow, what a grab. Macklin.
He's hurt.
And a Kansas player down as well.
Oh, man, both players are in a little bit of trouble from that contact. Macklin fell on his backside hard. And you got a couple of...
for KU.
Yeah, a wrist right. And Macklin, and they knew, I mean, Kansas said, we know they're going to Macklin, and they doubled Macklin, and he still went airborne and made the catch. And I think it's not the contact, it's when he hit the ground. And you hit the ground, and you hit the ground on your hip or on the side of your leg, and it's hopefully nothing more than the wind knocked out of him. And there's Macklin. We just pointed him out. He runs the route. And look, double cover. And the teammate is the one that got Wright. His teammate smoked Wright, and Wright got hit by his teammate and got crushed. When Macklin hits the ground, he hits that right hip very severely. I think he'll be okay. And Wright, as his teammate's coming in to make the play, misses Macklin and smacks Wright.
We'll send it down to Jim Knox. Maybe he's got more. Jimmy?
Right now, Chase Daniel just gave a nice head rub right there. He's going to the sidelines right in front of me very gingerly. It is, Dave. It looks like the hip right leg injury, but he's coming to the sidelines very gingerly. This is definitely a tough blow by Missouri, guys.
Yeah, you already got Kaufman, who's been in and out and tough. And if they should lose Macklin here, well, particularly at this very moment.
Yeah, I mean, you win the battle by moving the chains, but if he can't come back in for the rest of the war, that's a costly battle. But Macklin does a great job. And look at him go airborne, say, I know there's 2 there, but I'm fearless. And he takes a hit. I think sometimes, though, those hip pointers, I mean, they can be a real problem, especially a guy, a thoroughbred like Macklin, that has to feel perfect to be able to run that sub-4 340.
They put Kaufman back in with the slot there on the left side, and they go to it, to the 5 as he bangs helmets. Stuckey making the stop that time. Remember, they got that 1st down, and it'll be 2nd, just shy of the 5. We're on the 6-yard line. 2nd and 1 coming up.
Okay, Bill, if he doesn't have a bad left toe, does he go airborne and do the old hurdle? I don't know if he could have gotten airborne quickly enough on Stuckey, and Stuckey might have really stuck him big time if he tried to do that. But how about these guys that are playing hurt in this rivalry game and say, forget about the injury, there's no tomorrow, I'm playing.
Kaufman just doing what he can to make the reception. 2nd and 1. Kaufman again. Wow. He will score here. Oh, mama. What a player, and the Tigers have taken the lead.
And I'll tell you what, the big block, Curtis Gregory, had an unbelievable block that made the touchdown happen. And I know Kaufman's going to get a lot of credit, but a huge assist should go to Gregory, because that big boy was out on the edge, and he made the block in space that allowed Kaufman to have an alley to take it to the house. Watch number 78 in the gold jersey. Here he comes, boom, pick him off a little bit, make sure Kaufman can get in the end zone. And he goes airborne, and he lands hard, too. Stay on your feet, guys.
So the point after. Wolford has Missouri on top for the first time today. Kaufman's 2nd TD reception. The kick is good. Chase Daniel breaking his own record for TD passes in a season. And Mizzou leads by 4. Under the sun. Where is the sun?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
It's a winter wonderland out here right now.
It has turned into that as Missouri scored. The snowflakes began to come down heavily. Chase Kaufman gets his 2nd TD of the day right after the Macklin injury had set him up on a huge 1st down play. And now Wolford will kick it off. Briscoe been doing it all today. Is deep to return again for Kansas.
I don't kick to him. I kick away from him. There it goes.
There's the grounder. He'll get it, though, at the 12. Breaks a tackle. 30.
Wow.
Trying to turn the corner.
Wow.
40. Fumbled it, but out of bounds, and it's Kansas across midfield on a 38-yard return. Truvon's making the stop.
I mean, they try to squib it, get it on the wet turf, and he still fields it cleanly like a shortstop on the short hop and says, I'm going. Hey, guys, give me some creases. I can take it. And he almost got to the edge. Lost control of the football, but he was already well into that little 5-yard white area, but he got injured as he hit the turf hard on his left elbow, returning that kick.
So he stays off momentarily. They do bring Wilson. He is wide to the right, 3 to the right side, and Sharp in the backfield. Reesing trying to go to work here. He hits Fields. Fields spins across. I think he's got a first down before he is knocked out inside the 40 of Missouri. William Moore covering on the play.
Now thinking big picture, way ahead, Bill. In my mind, it's 4-down territory for Kansas until they score a touchdown. A field goal brings them within 1, but you're not sure what Missouri will do with the football. And look at the fight for yards after the catch. And again, may have won the battle on the kickoff return, but the war here, big picture, if Briscoe doesn't come back, was the battle unnecessary.
Fields 7 receptions today, a season high for him, and it's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Sharp on a little bit of a hole and takes it down here inside the 36. Ziggy Hood, the senior out of Amarillo, Texas, makes the stop. And for freecreditreport.com sideline report, let's go down to Knoxville.
Okay, guys, I tell you what, it's going to come down to the wire right here, and it's going to come down to the snow. The temperatures continue to drop. The playing field continues to get a lot worse. This is going to be a good one, and Jeremy Macklin on the sidelines is limping still.
You're looking marvelous, Noxie, down there in that little winter wonderland.
It's big man weather down here. You'd love it, Dave. Come on down.
I hear you, bro.
2nd and 8 for the 36. Reesing is hammered. Kansas looks like they've recovered.
And they didn't throw a beanbag, so they didn't spot a fumble. The official I didn't see throw a beanbag. Is it an incompletion? I mean, they're looking at each other. Whose football is it? I mean, nobody is spotting the ball. Nobody threw a beanbag. Is it a fumble or is it an incompletion?
Shulock created it all.
And they're saying that it's down. It's Kansas football right there. And let's see Todd Reesing. Now that it's getting cold, the snow's coming down, his hand's going forward, but is it an empty hand that's going forward? They may have to take another look at this. And who came up with the football? Did Kansas recover it or did Missouri? If Kansas recovered it, it's a moot point.
Jayhawks came up with it, and as a result, we'll have a 3rd and 11. Talk about big plays at the 39, and we'll find out if they don't get this, are they in 4-down territory or not. Reesing. Flushed out of the pocket. Now throws, got it out. It's complete to the 5. Oh, my, stepped out of bounds. Marcus Herford. And
how many times is there going to be this blown coverage on the sideline? It's unbelievable. Herford had both feet in bounds, then got the left out. But he catches the football and has both feet down in bounds. Watch, reception, get both down, and then stride over with the left foot. That's
great to stay in bounds. Almost kept his balance to go into the end zone.
What is going on in the secondary with these blown coverages? We've seen a half a dozen today.
Reesing got plenty of time here, going for 6.
Wow,
got it! Touchdown, Kansas leads!
Wow,
what a game!
Did they leave too much time on the clock for Missouri? It might come down to who has the ball last, because we have got fast break football going on right here. And Kerry Meyer, how did he get that much separation in the back corner of the end zone? My goodness, if these quarterbacks get enough protection, Bill, it's like pitch and catch out there. Watch Kerry Meyer, the inside receiver. A little double cross, he's to the back corner, and everybody disregards Kerry Meyer. I mean, they're blowing coverages out there.
And Brandstetter with a point after is good by Kansas as Myers' 9-yard TD reception from Reesing. KU leads. Think you'll stick around?
Wow. You betcha.
Meyer, a 9-yard TD pass from Reesing. And as Meyer sits on the sideline for a moment, Macklin is out, and it is Jackson and Moore. Jackson comes back with it, and he is upended around the 26-yard line. Jimmy Jackson brought down by John Larson after a 19-yard return.
Well, Briscoe starts to drive off with a kickoff return here, Bill. At the conclusion of the return, he lands on his left elbow, and he is not playing on this drive. Without Briscoe, they still execute to perfection. Herford on the sideline, Meyer in the corner of the end zone. Credit Kansas. They lost their big weapon, Briscoe, on the kickoff return. They still overcame that adversity and scored a touchdown. That's a team right there.
Yeah, that was Herford's first reception of the season to set up that TD pass. And now here comes Mizzou as they don't fool around either. And Harris makes the tackle on the play. A 13-yard pickup for the Tigers. How much time do they need? That'll show you right there.
Yeah, it's almost like, you might want to start melting the play clock a little bit more and not get into such a fast break tempo, because you don't want to give it back to Kansas with a lot of time if you do score.
Macklin back on the field for the Tigers here on a 1st and 10 from the 40. Oh, that one after Washington slipped.
Yeah, hit him in the smush.
And tell you what, that almost turned into the tip drill for KU, didn't it?
It sure did. And when Washington comes back to the huddle, he can tell Chase Daniel how his arm strength is. Good boink, right in the smush. I mean, right off the crown of the helmet. And that stunned him a little bit. But obviously slipped to the turf as he was running his route.
Washington in the backfield here with Daniel. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Kaufman leaning short of the first down. Needed to get to just about midfield, and James Holt was there to make the stop.
I mean, you look at Sharp, he's got a rib injury. You look at Meyer as a hamstring injury. They both scored touchdowns. You look at Kaufman, he's got a bad turf toe on the left toe. He scored touchdowns. I mean, these guys are just showing courage. Macklin playing with a bad hip. He's showing courage. It's a rivalry.
3rd and 2.
Watch Macklin.
If he's in there, you got to figure they're looking for him at the 48-yard line on a 3rd and 2. Chase Daniel will keep it. Got the first down and could break it. 40. Brought down from behind, but not until he rambles to the 31-yard line.
Well, who threw the last block? Macklin. A lot of times the best player has to do something with the ball, not in his hands. And that tells you if you are a complete football player or not. And once Chase Daniel breaks the line of scrimmage, look who throws the key block down the football field. Macklin, right there, getting extra yards as he blocks Stuckey. Tremendous effort by everybody across the board on that snap.
Daniels rushed for 103 yards now today.
Wow. It's like a running back going for 200.
1st and 10 at the 31. Underneath Macklin, broke a tackle and brought down from behind inside the 20. Another 1st and 10 for Mizzou. Jamal Green makes the tackle, but not until the 12-yard pickup.
He's hurt again, landed on that turf hard. He's fighting that hip problem now. And it wasn't just any guy's tackle he broke. He broke Stuckey's tackle. Macklin hooks it up. Stuckey comes in to make the hit and misses. Macklin goes for extra yards, picks up an extra 10, and as he hit the turf with the big defensive lineman dragging him down, he got that hip dinged up again.
1st and 10 at the 17. Jimmy Jackson in the backfield now. Chase Daniel.
Got him.
Got a man, and is complete to Perry near the 5-yard line. Jared Perry, the junior from Lamarck, Texas.
Oh, Bill, if he stays on his feet, he walks into the end zone. And I'm not sure he had to go to the ground. I think he thought he was covered. They run the fake reverse. He's wide open. Wow. Stay up and catch the ball and walk into the end zone. I think he thought that there was going to be a safer defensive back right there, and he's protecting himself from a hit that never occurred.
He goes wide right here. 1st and goal at the 6 for Missouri. You said it. They may score too quickly.
Yeah.
We hit the 2-minute mark here in the ball game.
Watch the quarterback draw. Quarterback draw.
Washington finds a hole, breaks a tackle, he'll score! Touchdown, Tigers!
Man. Todd Reeson can't believe it. And he's going over to his offense. He's bringing his offense together and says, guys, we got to do a 2-minute drill. And Bill, you called it a long time ago. They burned 2 timeouts. Kansas only has 1 timeout to work with. But remember, 2-minute drill in college is a lot different. The clock stops every time the chains move. And so you get a chance to utilize the clock a little bit more advantageously. But What a great answer by both teams. Kansas answers, Missouri answers, Kansas answers. It's amazing.
Wolford for the point after, and it is good. And that was important because a field goal now will not tie the game. 37-33, Missouri back on top.
That's right. They got to think touchdown, and nice blocking up front. Watch the big pulling guard right there, the lineman getting that block. That's an outstanding job by Madison, and then making people miss. And Washington with another touchdown. And he's a touchdown maker. What's that? His 18th and 19th on the season, counting rushing and receiving.
Yeah, his 19th, and it sets a new Missouri record, or ties the record that Brad Smith for touchdowns scored in a season. And now they'll kick it off to the Kansas Jayhawks, who find themselves down 37-33.
And look who's back. Briscoe is back deep. Briscoe's back out in the field, it looks like. And Briscoe's going to be involved with the kickoff return. They have a rubber sleeve on that left elbow. Remember, he landed on that left elbow and injured himself. They warmed it up, and they treated it a little bit, and they put a rubber sleeve on there to help it, give it a little protection. Let's see how he responds out here.
3 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes have set up a furious finish here at Arrowhead. Briscoe wants it, got it, 30. And brought down. Good coverage by Missouri that time as Briscoe brought down at the 33. 1:45 remaining and a timeout to work with. Here's their situation this year, the success they've had in under 2 minutes with 15 TD drives.
Boy, you know, both defenses played pretty well in the first half. Then all of a sudden the offense has made adjustments at halftime. And the adjustments that the offensive coordinators made were outstanding. And they have not been the adjustments to those adjustments, and the offenses have rolled in the second half.
Reesing going for over 300 yards today, rolls out here on 1st and 10, comes back the other side, and it is complete. Oh, what a hammer was put on Sharp.
Those ribs are hurting now.
Oh, they're not even mine, and they hurt.
Well, he's biting that mouthpiece. I bet all his teeth came through the rubber of that mouthpiece after that hit. He is clamping down hard on that thing. Watch this quarterback Reesing. Are you kidding me? To just at the last minute, no, because coverage rolled the way that you were looking when you were scrambling to pull up and throw backside. That's a guy that has eyes in the back of his head and knows his offense inside out. Unbelievable play.
1st and 10 at the 45, 1:37 to go. Reesing to Sharp, bobbled it, fumbled it.
Incomplete.
Okay, incomplete.
Shovel pass. Shovel pass is a forward pass, and if it hits the ground, it's incomplete. It can be intercepted, but once it hits the ground, it's an incompletion. Little shovel pass with the left hand. He drops it, hits the turf. Now, if Missouri had grabbed it before it hit the turf, that's an interception. But now it's just an incompletion.
So, 2nd down and 10 at the 45. Kansas with 1:30 to work with and 1 timeout remaining. Reesing. Meyer chases out of bounds, and 1st and 10 at the 44 of Missouri. Stops the clock, 1:24.
These seniors, Bill, are playing their hearts out. And because they're playing their hearts out, all the underclassmen want to win the game for their seniors. So the level of play has jumped up. I mean, the bar is being raised and raised and raised. And it's, can you match this? No, I can do better. It's just college football at its best right now.
Injury, forget it. Doesn't matter. Nobody's coming off this field.
Yeah, unless you lose a leg or something, you can't run.
1st and 10 at the 44. Meyer picks up about 7. Geddes on the play. Clock still ticking here.
Well, you tell me this game means nothing. Are you kidding me? These kids are all laying their hearts out on the line.
Quick snap, Reesing in trouble. Fakes out another lineman. Meyer, and complete.
Did he get his hands underneath that football? They're saying yes.
They may review that. Meyer at the 29-yard line.
And the clock stops to move the chains. Did he get his hands under it? Yeah, he bounced it up. He bounced it up with his hands. They're going to take a look at it before the snap. Now, did the ground kick it up? The ground can't kick it up. If the ball comes up like that, his hands pulled it up. His hands tapped it up to his body. I mean, the ground can't do that. Hands underneath, pull it up. That's a catch. That's a catch. The ground cannot bring the ball up at a 45-degree angle. Your hands have to do that. Whoop, get it up there. Excellent job, Meyer getting his hands underneath that football and scooping it. They called it a catch. It's not enough evidence to overturn it. I think that stands. I think it's Kansas football, 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Outstanding effort by Kerry Meyer and Todd Reesing to create and extend that play again.
And again, we remind you that when plays are under review, every play is reviewed. It's just the officials in the booth say, hey, I need a little bit longer look at that, stop the game. And they've done a great job of that this year. Sometimes people get confused with NFL and college, even though we both had replay for quite a while now. And what about the two teams, though? They're both getting a free timeout here because it was stopped by the replay booth.
The word on the field stands as called.
Good call, Dave.
Yeah, the call on the field is critical. If they had called incomplete, I'm not sure they would have overturned that necessarily either. The call is huge, whatever call is made, because it has to be indisputable to overturn it. But I think a kid makes an effort like that to get his hands underneath the football, you got to give him the catch. And the officials did the right thing. Give the catch, and if it shows that it wasn't, you can always overturn it. And I think that's the way to go, and Meyer definitely deserved that reception.
1st and 10 on the 29 as Meyer with the reception that time for KU. He's caught 12 for 77 in a score. And the Jayhawks down 4. Reesing delivers this to Meyer. Got out of bounds, picking up 5 or so as Geddes was there. Stops the clock with 44 seconds remaining.
All season long, Missouri's defense has bent, but not break necessarily. They've given up a lot of yards. Gary Pinkel said in the red zone is when we play better defense. He's calling timeout here right now. He wants a little time to think about this. Will the Missouri defense bend but not break again? Or will Kansas bend, make them bend, and then break them with a touchdown? That's what they have to do. Field goal, no good.
Tiger defense that's been allowing 23 points a game, 2nd in the Big 12, 52nd in the country, and Kansas has gotten 33 on them here today. The Tigers, one of the teams considered the big boys in college football after last year's great run, and got off to that terrific start with a win over Illinois, and then rolled by Nebraska, which was huge, up in Lincoln. Then Oklahoma State got them in Columbia.
Yep.
Texas hammered them. And then they bounced back, and that's not easy in this conference.
Well, you know, they said that Coach Pinkel said that it got to him a little bit. And after that loss to Texas, he said, I don't care about national championship, anything else. All I care about is Colorado, and let's get on track. And here's Kansas. And they've lost 4 out of the last 5 right here. But if I'm a bowl committee, I'm looking at this football team, and they won the Orange Bowl last year. And they've got 6 wins, so they're bowl eligible, and they're playing Missouri off their feet, who's already going into the Big 12 championship game. Win, lose, or draw, in my mind, this game says Kansas goes to a good bowl, and I think they're probably going to go to the Insight Bowl.
Missouri has made a challenge on this play to see if Meyer was down before he got out of bounds.
He was. The knee is down. The knee is down. All those extra yards, and the thing is, the clock should run, because he didn't get out of bounds. Right. And how do you determine that? If he was down with the football in the field of play before getting out of bounds, and he didn't gain a 1st down, so it wouldn't have stopped to move the chains. How do you tell how many seconds that would have been? I mean, you're not going to be able to dictate that kind of a clock. Once he makes the catch, the knee is down, and what are we going to try to guess how many seconds would have gone off the clock before he get out of bounds? Maybe a second or 2 is about it. But if he's down, you know, you don't let the clock stop at 44 seconds necessarily. And I think that's what they're talking about as well. Was he down? Yes. Caught the ball and he was down. What do you do with the clock now?
Yeah, and Mark Mangino trying to get an explanation over there, so his club can react either way.
They're going to put 42 seconds like I thought. They're 46 seconds now instead of 44. And it's according to the replay officials upstairs. And you know, I think that's accurate. Where he was not going to take him any more than 2 seconds to get out of bounds.
Okay, but at this point, how's that help Missouri?
It doesn't.
I mean, they just put time on the clock, even though they won the challenge.
They got yards. They got yards to their advantage,
After
but they.
Further review, the receiver was down when he caught the ball at the 26.5-yard line.
Right. They picked up the yards.
Clock operator, please set the game clock.
So they basically they got about 4 or 5 yards to their advantage for 2 seconds.
And they have 1 remaining challenge. 2nd down.
And now they'll start the clock immediately here.
And what they did was they exchanged yards for 2 seconds, which I think, you know, when you have to score a touchdown, it's probably not the worst thing in the world to do.
All right, 2nd and 7 now at the 26 as Reesing gets an explanation before they allow him to snap the ball. Now, and the clock will start. Reesing. Going for the end zone to Briscoe.
Oh. Almost picked.
Wow.
Almost picked. He could not secure it.
Geddes right there covering.
Oh, baby.
It was almost an all or nothing.
You know, and that's how much Reesing has in Briscoe now. Geddes makes a great play on the football. Simultaneous possession goes to the offense. If Briscoe catches it, I don't think he can come down in bounds anyway. And Geddes couldn't come down in bounds either if he had caught the football. But that's how much the confidence Reesing has now in Briscoe.
3rd down and 7. Incomplete. And it comes down to 4th down and 33 seconds to go for Kansas, trailing by 4 to Mizzou.
And Mark Mangino might call a timeout, his final timeout, to talk about this one because it's the biggest down of the game. And what you did, Briscoe, I think Todd Reesing thought that Briscoe was going to drift instead of settle down in the zone, drift back to find himself a more available space. And he threw it, looked like he threw it behind Briscoe because he didn't think Briscoe was just going to sit. He thought he was going to pivot back. And they weren't on the same page. And the ball goes wide of him.
Briscoe 9 for 115 and a touchdown today. Watch what come up here.
Yeah, watch what he does. He settles down instead of coming back. It looked like the way Reesing threw the football, he was looking for that little pivot route where he comes back a little bit because you can see the defender, the safety coming into the picture. He wanted him to pivot away from him and give him a more space opportunity to catch the football. Briscoe just settled and sat right there. So quarterback receiver on the different page and inopportune time here.
What a classic here today in the Border Showdown. It comes down to a 4th down play for the Kansas Jayhawks, who've led much of the day. But in the 4th quarter, it has been back and forth. And Missouri clinging to a now 37-33 lead. 4th and 7 at the 26.
You can't ask for more than we've seen today in a college football game. It has been unbelievable.
KU out of timeouts. 3 receivers wide right, Briscoe to the left, Sharp in the backfield with Todd Reesing. Reesing in trouble here. Looking.
Got him.
Meyer. Touchdown Kansas.
Oh, man. Unreal. And Mark Mangino saying, keep your composure, get off the sideline. That was all Todd Reesing. The Missouri Tigers decided to come with the blitz. The protection was outstanding. And they gave Todd Reesing an opportunity to avoid the rush, step up in the pocket, and create a play. And Meyer, the quarterback, said, okay, I know what Reesing's doing. I know what I want my receiver to do. Get in the end zone. He goes to the end zone. Reesing finds him. Unbelievable extension of a play by a quarterback and a backup quarterback playing receiver.
Key extra point, obviously, as Kansas makes it a 3-point game. And now Missouri, with 27 seconds to go, could get a field goal to tie and force overtime.
Watch the blitz and watch the blitz pickup. Watch the amount of protection that they give Todd Reesing. Everybody's coming from Missouri. They're bringing us in. And Reesing finds a lane. He steps up. And then he says, Meyer, he read my mind. And he got down the football field. There were less people in the secondary because of the blitz. And Meyer got behind the deepest man. But if you're the safety, you cannot allow the deepest receiver on the field to get behind you. And Todd Reesing says, I can't believe it happened again. And Mark Mangino, look at how composed Mark Mangino is. Everybody else is going crazy saying, I don't want any penalties. Get yourself off the field. Come on now, get back. We got some football to play. That was just a great, guys, that's great pictures. I'll tell you, our cameramen are as good as the game today. That's a great shot of a coach, a head coach showing total composure. Man, unbelievable. And you talk about sad, she can't even keep her gum in her mouth.
Now, Wolford could be spotlighted as he loosens up on the sideline. And Missouri, hey, 2 timeouts in 27 seconds.
And Macklin's deep.
Anything's possible.
Yep, you got to scribble away from Macklin. Oh, they went deep.
Brandstetter and Macklin will get a shot from around the 3. 10.
Oh,
Macklin,
wow.
30. Stiff arms a man and out of bounds on the Missouri sideline near the 39-yard line, and it was Brandstetter again. A 35-yard return, and Missouri is in pretty decent position. 19 seconds to go.
We said it could come down to who had the ball last. So the last two scores. Did Missouri leave enough time, too much time on the clock? Did Kansas leave too much time on the clock? We'll soon find out. This game, as Yogi Berra says, ain't over till it's over.
Remember, Wolford, season-long 51-yarder. He loosens up. Daniel's got some work to do first. First and 10 at the 39. Got a man. Wide open. Perry. Perry to the 37-yard line. Stuckey making the tackle.
They're going to spike it. They're going to move the chains. The clock stops while they move the chains. They're going to spike it and save timeouts.
So they still have 2 timeouts to go.
And there's only 10 seconds. They want to save one to get the field goal unit on the field.
So they can run any play they want.
Right. They can run a play. They don't have to go to the sideline. They can use the whole field and then burn a timeout. And then they can get the field goal. You don't want to have an extra timeout, though. You don't want to leave the field in this football game with a timeout. They might. But if they kick a field goal, it's a moot point because now you're going into overtime.
Wolford's career long is 54. His season long 51. Here's Mizzou from the 36. Daniel incomplete. 5 seconds to go.
That was a catchable football for Alexander, and he didn't squeeze the rock.
Can you run another play?
Oh, boy, it better be a quick one. I think they're sending the kicking unit out there.
Yep. So Wolford will come on. His career-long 54 yards.
And that's about what this might be.
Yeah. Line of scrimmage is the 36. Would make it usually 53.
Now, the good thing is he's on the good turf. He's not on the hash mark. He's lined himself up on the good turf. Kansas has no timeouts to freeze him. Comes down to this.
Here we go. 5 seconds to go. 54-yarder. No way. And Kansas is going to win. And it's over. The Jayhawks do.
What a game. Unbelievable game.
Kansas with an incredible finish here in Kansas City.
Man, everything you could want in a football game. Great defensive plays. Unbelievable courage by injured players. Big plays offensively. There were dynamite plays in the kicking game. I mean, everything you could want. Todd Reesing, obviously happy.
Reesing, what a day he had. Meyer gets the game winner. Jim Knox is down with, I'm sure, elated Mark Mangino. Noxie?
All right, thank you, Bill. Coach, congratulations. You were just telling me all the injuries, and you guys pull out this big-time upset. Tell us about it.
Well, we've had some big wins here since I've been the head coach, but this is the grittiest. Our injury list, a roll of toilet paper wouldn't be long enough. We've got guys that played today that could barely walk a week ago. It's the guttiest performance I've ever seen that I've been associated with as a coach.
Speaking of about a gutty performance, how about the performance of Todd Reesing? The game-winning touchdown. He barred time. They called the blitz. Missouri had the blitz on, and he hit Kerry Meyer for the game winner.
Unbelievable. That's what he does. He makes big plays. He's another guy. Couldn't lift his arm up a week ago. Could not lift his throwing arm up. But he fought through it, and I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of all of our players.
And also the defense. Daryl Stuckey, I think alone he had 3 takeaways. Big-time performance against Chase Daniel, that high-power offense in Missouri.
I'll tell you, Missouri's a good football team. Their offense is phenomenal, but our kids wanted it today. We wanted it. Our kids all week long heard about we didn't have a chance. Never tell KU they don't have a chance.
Sum it all for us, Mark. As far as your entire career so far here, you did a remarkable turnaround at Kansas. Is this one of your biggest wins here?
It's one of them. It's the guttiest. It's the best performance by kids that were really banged up, had no chance. And some people thought in some quarters we had no chance to win. If it's not the biggest win, it's sure the guttiest win.
All right, congratulations. Appreciate it. Bill?
All right, 13th ranked Missouri goes down to rival Kansas. Kerry Meyer, the game-winning touchdown, and then Wolford a chance to try to send it in overtime from 54.
Well, he wanted to drive it, and he hit the top half of the football and never got underneath it. You know, 54 yards, you can't hit your wedge. You have to hit a 3-iron. And he tried to drive the middle of the football and did not get enough elevation, and he knew right away. Might have lifted his head up a little bit, didn't quite finish as strong as he has with that leg. I'm not saying he short-legged it, but he didn't hit the ball in the sweet spot, and as a result, you can't ask a kid to hit a 54-yard field goal to win a game. The percentage of that is minimal. Is minimal.
4 touchdowns in the last 6.5 minutes of the game. Meyer gets the finale, and it was the difference maker on just an incredible finish here in Kansas City.
And you had Meyer on the same page as Reesing. They watched tape together all week long in the quarterback room. And I'll tell you, that mental telepathy, Meyer knowing exactly what Reesing wanted, won this football game after Reesing extended the play against the blitz.
All right, folks, hope you enjoyed it today. Thanks to every one of them for a great season. So long from Kansas City, where again the final score, the Kansas Jayhawks 40, the Missouri Tigers 37. We hope you've enjoyed watching Big 12 football all season. Let's enjoy some of the great moments and performances. You've been watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented